श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. So yesterday we saw Indrajalamayam Vishwam Jyatah Sarvam Pasyatascha Sukhodgamah. When we see everything to be illusory in different ways, whatever it is, so then the sukha udgamah, the bliss manifests. Okay, now next, na cittaṃ nikṣipedduḥkhe na sukhe va parikṣipet bhairavi jñāyatāṃ madhye kim tattvamavaśiṣyate na cittaṃ nikṣipedduḥkhe na sukhe va parikṣipet. Hey bhairavi jñāyatāṃ. In some reading there is jñāyatāṃ, does not really matter. Jñāyatāṃ, jñāyatāṃ, so same. In different places, jñāyatāṃ is replaced with jñāyatāṃ by the other acharya. Okay. Madhye kim tattvamavaśiṣyate. What does this Dhāraṇā say? Don't immerse your mind either in happiness or sorrow. Okay. When you don't immerse the mind in happiness or sorrow, and if you watch carefully what exists in between them, then that is the truth. The truth alone exists there. Okay, we'll understand this. Cittaṃ dukkhe na nikṣipet sukhe va na parikṣipet. That is what is the first sentence. Cittaṃ, the mind. Dukkhe sukhe va nikṣipet parikṣipet va. Kshipakshepane, that is the root word. Okay, to throw. Now that is used with the suffixes, prefixes of ni and pari. Okay, paritah nityatah or uvaishah. So what does this say? To immerse. Parikṣipet and nikṣipet both say don't immerse. Okay. Now, in the previous Dhāraṇā, I said don't judge the thoughts whether it is good or bad. Don't judge the thought, just watch the thoughts. Here he is saying don't identify with the happiness or sorrow. I am happy, I am sorrow. That is what he said. So don't identify yourself with a happiness or sorrow that is experienced. Happiness, let there be sorrow. Then what happens? See, what should I do? Understand. That is why he says, Hey bhairavi jñāyatāṃ. Understand what? This happiness and sorrow does not belong to me because I am the seer. I am perceiving them. And therefore, this happiness and sorrow belongs to the mind. It is not my attribute. It is not my nature. It is the mind's nature. So, understanding this, bhairavi madhye kim tattvamavaśiṣyate. Kintu madhye tattvamavaśiṣyate. But in the middle, in the midpoint, the tattva, the truth alone remains. This is a very interesting thing. Madhye. Some people interpret this as a madhye means in between, meaning in between the good and bad thoughts, or in between the happiness and sorrow, the thought of happiness and sorrow, in between, meaning when one thought of sorrow subsides and another thought of before another thought of happiness arises, in between that state. That is stupid. Because we cannot watch that this idea was already said before. Watch the gap. Okay. Now mind the gap. I also said that. Now that is not the point here. Because you cannot guarantee that after one sorrow thought there will be one happy thought, or one happy thought and then there is a sorrow thought. There is no rule. Happy, 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 sorrow, sorrow, happy, sorrow, 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 happy, happy, sorrow. There is no rule there. There can be a series of happiness and suddenly there is a sorrow, or a series of sorrow and then suddenly happiness. Anything can happen here. Right? So, you cannot judge. Then what is that madhye? In it, In it, what exists? Tattvamavaśiṣyate, he says. Tattvamavaśiṣyate, the truth alone remains. Meaning, I, the self, alone give the existence and experience nature for those thoughts. Without me, there can be no existence or experienceness for those thoughts. So, I am the perceiver and I am the witness for those thoughts. So, understanding this, you get rid of those thoughts and you remain the truth alone. Okay. Now, he is changing, after talking about the thought function, he is changing the track to a different inquiry process, the Dhāraṇā process. Now is introducing you to giving up the identification with the body sense organ complex and identifying yourself with the creation. Okay. Now, vihāya jijadehāsthāṃ sarvatrāsmīti bhāvayan dṛḍheṇa manasā dṛṣṭyā nānyekṣiṇyā sukhī bhavet. The previous Dhāraṇā is a sakshakta Dhāraṇā. Okay, this Dhāraṇā is also shakta Dhāraṇā anyway. So vihāya jijadehāsthāṃ sarvatra, in another reading, sarvam sarvam asmīti bhāvayan dṛḍheṇa manasā dṛṣṭyā nānyekṣiṇyā dṛṣṭyā sukhī bhavet. Beautiful. What does he say? Giving up the identification with one's own body and identifying with oneself with everything. I am everything or I am everywhere. Sarvam, I am everywhere. I am everything. Sarvatra, I am everywhere. Okay. So, whichever, does not really matter. So, when you meditate like that, then what can meditate with water? With a very strong mind without doubts. When you meditate that without strong focus and without doubt, then sukhī bhavet, you become that bliss. Now, vihāya jñāyatāṃ, nijadeha, one's own body, āsthāṃ, identification. We identify ourselves with the body, sense organ complex. We say, I am this. Okay, now we have to give that up. Now, if the mind gives the identification with the body, sense organ complex, then what should it be identified? Because without identification with the thoughts or the bodies, the mind cannot have any existence. So, what should the mind be associated with now? Because mind is of the nature of identifying itself with something or other. So now what should I make the mind by giving up the identification with the body? What should I make the mind to identify itself with? Sarvatra aham iti, everywhere I am, or everything, I am everything. I am everything or I am everywhere. This is the similar thought, cittaṃ. What is that? In the previous 99th Dhāraṇā, cittaṃ sarvam deheshu, sarvadeheshu, vishesho nasti kutrachit. There we said, cittaṃ sarvadeheshu. Cittaṃ, the consciousness principle alone exists in all the bodies. There we were talking about the consciousness principle. Here we are talking about identifying with everything. Because in all the bodies, when I explained with respect to all the bodies, I said right from the grass till the Brahmaji according to Vedanta and Sadashiva according to Shaiva. From grass till Sadashiva state. See, Shiva state, that the state which you are going to achieve there is Shiva state. Because consciousness, everything is consciousness, that is Shiva state. Here, the state which is said is a Sadashiva state. You are identifying with everything. There are the state before the Shiva state is Sadashiva or Ishvara. The state before that is a Paramashiva. The difference between Paramashiva and Sadashiva is Sadashiva identifies I am everything. Okay, Paramashiva identifies as everything is me. Wait, repeat it. Sadashiva says I am everything, and Paramashiva says everything is I. What is the difference? There is no difference. I am everything, everything I am. Same thing, same difference. No, there is a great difference here. I am The self is everything. Okay, so I don't give any importance to the external existence. But Paramashiva state, he gives importance to every external existence and sees himself, everything as himself. That is the difference. Okay, so he says, sarvatrāsmīti bhāvayan, sarvam asmīti, sarvatrāsmīti, everything I am everything. In this way, when we meditate upon with what? Manasā. What kind of manasā? dṛḍheṇa manasā. Dṛḍha means very strong. Strong mind means a mind which does not have any doubts. Okay, a doubtless mind. dṛṣṭyā. dṛṣṭyā means through the inquiry. dṛṣṭyā means through the inquiry, through the experience. Both are drishti. Okay, through the perception or through the inquiry. So, and what kind of inquiry or what kind of perception should be? nānyekṣiṇyā. You should not be perceiving anything else. Your focus should be only on this. Or you should not understand anything else. Your focus should be only on this. There should be no other experience. Your experience only should be, I am everything. So when you do that, then sukhī bhavet. You become the bliss itself. So that is the bhavana here. So this bhavana, there is another pathabheda also. Bhavayan is a reading, and there is another reading bhavayet. Does not really matter, both are same. Okay, now this is a shakta upaya, and he brings in saugata, etc., the Buddhist idea, etc. Similar Buddhist idea is said here also, meaning we are not giving any importance to the body sense organ complex, so we remain the absolute. That's the idea. Okay, next. ghaṭādau yacca vijñānam iccātyam va mamāntare naiva sarvagatam jātaṃ bhāvayanniti sarvagaḥ. ghaṭādau yacca vijñānam iccātyam va mamāntare naiva sarvagatam naiva mamāntare naiva sarvagatam jātaṃ bhāvayanniti sarvagaḥ iti bhāvayan sarvagaḥ. So what does he say? With the pot, etc., whatever knowledge of pot, etc., or the desire of pot, etc., takes place, it does not only take place in me. That knowledge and desire exists in every place, everywhere. It is existing everywhere, in every state. When you understand that, then you become omnipresent. ghaṭādau. Wait. What did we say? The knowledge and desire or knowledge and action does not exist in me alone. It mamāntare naiva. It exists in every other place. Sarvagatam jātaṃ. It exists everywhere. When we understand this, then you become omnipresent. But wait, the desire cannot exist or the knowledge cannot exist everywhere. The pot, ghaṭādau, he is bringing pot, etc. It cannot exist in pot, etc. How can pot, etc., inert objects have the knowledge, I am pot or this is pot? It cannot happen. Then what does he want to say here? See, when I see the pot, pot exists, I want to make it whatever that is. That knowledge exists in waking state. Sarvatra means in waking state, also in dream state. That can be one interpretation. Another interpretation is it does not exist everywhere. It, though has an existence, does not really exist. Meaning it does not have any reality. Naiva jātaṃ, sarvagatam naiva jātaṃ. All these really does not exist. If you interpret like that. Meaning they don't have any real existence. When you think like that, all the objects cease to exist. So you become everything. That is the idea. Okay, because it has no essence in it to have the existence individually of you. So when you understand that, then you become everything. You become omnipresent. That's the idea. दातं भवति इति अन्वय. So the idea is, you can also interpret the pot, etc. does not have individually the knowledge of or desire, but whatever knowledge or desire exists in me is what is existent in the pot. The pot, it is everywhere. The knowledge or desire everywhere that I have association. Therefore, the knowledge and the desire which exists in me has association with everything. That is another idea, which is in, that is another interpretation which is said here. Meaning the same Sadashiva state. Okay, we'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevāvaśiṣyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.